Reflets d'Afrique Télévision, le Flash Info, The Breaking News.
By the end of 2020, Cameroon's public debt stood at 10,334 billion francs CFA. This amount, according to provisional data from the National Sinking Fund, is termed to be equivalent to 46.9% of the gross domestic product, the GDP, an increase by 5.6% each year. Such a rise was due to the disbursement obtained under the Rapid Credit Facility set up by the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, to help countries fight the coronavirus pandemic, says the Sinking Fund. As of December 30, 2020, the country's public debt was as follows: 9,411 billion francs CFA of direct and publicly guaranteed debt and 922 billion francs CFA of public corporations non-guaranteed debts. For years now, the Central African country's debt has kept increasing. According to data compiled by the Civil Aviation Authority between 2016 and 2020, Cameroon's public debt rose by 4,324 billion francs CFA. Initially, the country's debt stood at 6,010 billion francs CFA. This increase is blamed on external financial assistance generally provided by international partners. Estimated at 3,941 billion in 2016, the external debt rose to 6,736 billion in 2020, witnessing an increase of 2,800 billion over 4 years. On the same page, the state's domestic debt has also been rising during the said period. From 1,304 billion francs CFA as of December 31st of 2016, it officially rose to 2,647 billion francs CFA. The African Development Bank has revealed that Cameroon's public debt has risen fourfold over 13 years. The Pan-African Banking Institution also points out that the country is at high risk of debt distress given the worrying nature of its debt level. Although public authorities deem public debt to be sustainable, they are nevertheless concerned about the rising indebtedness ratio. In the 2021 Finance Law, the country revealed that in 2018, the volume debt service has started rising while public investment dropped slightly. According to budget documents, Cameroon's debt service increased from 727.5 billion francs CFA in 2017 to 1.027 billion francs CFA in 2018, while public investment fell from 1,586.9 billion francs CFA to 1,291.5 billion over the same period. Gunmen suspected of being separatist fighters sowing terror on the Bamenda-Babaju axis in Cameroon's conflict-hit northwest region were arrested by law enforcement and security forces from the northwest region, and 9 hostages were also released on the night of Saturday, April 17, 2021. The latter have been taken captive by separatist fighters for 5 days in Pigny, the largest village in the Santa subdivision, Mezam division of the Northwest region. This operation was carried out on the Bamenda-Babaju road where there are armed groups. According to reports by Valerine Ka, commander of the 5th Joint Military Region, during the presentation of the hostages on Sunday, April 18, 2021, in Bamenda, chief town of the Northwest region, his men from the task force carried out a targeting operation, at the end of which they were able to free all the hostages, civilians numbering 9. There were no lives lost. He also informed that his men arrested during this operation the kidnappers and also recovered the weapons, ammunition, improvised explosive devices, amongst others. Security measures have been strengthened as the security forces appeal to the population for a frank collaboration. The Bamenda-Babaju axis is regularly the object of attack by armed groups. "11 people were killed and about 100 injured on Sunday, April 18, in a train accident in Egypt's Kwaliobia province north of Cairo, when at least 4 train wagons ran off the tracks at the city of Banha, according to railway authorities. The country's health ministry in a statement stated that at least 100 others were injured, while about 60 ambulances were sent to take the injured from the scene to nearby hospitals. The train was traveling to the Nile Delta city of Mansoura from the Egyptian capital. Sunday's train accident came 3 weeks after two passenger trains collided in the province of Sohag, killing at least 18 people and injuring 200 others, children inclusive. Egypt has a history of train wrecks and mishap. The railway system has a history of badly maintained equipment and mismanagement. The government says it has launched a broad renovation and modernization initiative. Chadian soldiers have halted a rebel advance in the country's north, according to a military spokesman, after American and British embassies urged personnel to leave ahead of a possible assault on the capital. General Azim Bemandwa Anguna, the Chadian army spokesperson, said the country's forces had defeated a group of terrorists who had ventured into the north of Kanem province on national TV on April 17th. However, the search for some rebels still continues. It was not immediately possible to independently corroborate his claims given the remote location where the fighting was said to have taken place. The rebels are believed to be from a group known by its French acronym FACT, which is the Front for Change and Concord in Chad. Chadian soldiers also have long battled militants from the extremist group Boko Haram.
Reflets d'Afrique Télévision, le Flash Info, the Breaking News.